All right. So, what's Reckless Traveler been doing? What's he been up to? Hang on. Let me just close this door since it's decided to be 12 degrees today. And the wind or the haints or whatever will just blow it back open. But regardless. Well, mainly what I've been dealing with is getting jerked around by people that claim they want to purchase a Willys Truck from me. This is a epidemic. So I made a how to sell or how not to sell a Willys. This is going to be how to buy or how not to buy a Willys. My personal favorite is when you get called. I want to buy it. It's bought. It's consider it bought. I'm going to give you 1,500 Rubik's Cubes for it. Okay, cool. Right on. When are you going to give me those 1,500 Rubik's Cubes? Tomorrow. I'm coming tomorrow. Going to get it. It's done. Consider it done. Mark it pending. Take it down. It's over. It's all over but the crying. It's not. It's mine now. It's mine. Just consider it mine. And then what happens? 3 hours later, hey, listen, I don't have any Rubik's Cubes. I can't do it. Sorry. They're like, dude, you literally just told me 3 hours ago it was yours. You've wanted one since you were a small child, all this, and now you're just no. So, for future reference, if you want to buy a truck from a gentleman, whether it's me or somebody else, the last thing you want to do is screw them over. Okay? That's not what you want. Especially if you're trying to get it at a better price or whatever. Don't be a liar. Don't be a cutthroat. Don't be a cheat. Don't do such things. Another personal favorite of mine is, like say you've got the truck listed for 400 guinea pigs, okay? It's on there for 400 guinea pigs, and you get the message from some random jagoff that's like, I'll give you 150 guinea pigs for it. Well, in what world do you offer less than half what it's listed for? What world is that? Where? I don't know. It's not the world I live in. If I have 400 guinea pigs, a legitimate offer, if I'm even entertaining offers, right, would be 300 or maybe 350, 375, something like that. You don't cut the number in half. You don't do that. It pisses people off. It pisses me off every single time when somebody does that because I don't do that to other people. You make a reasonable offer. Half of what they're asking is not a reasonable offer. Less than half is just an insult, okay? Both are insulting. One's more so than the other. Don't do that. This truck right here. I called this guy before I ever went and got it. It's out in Oklahoma, right? It's 12, 13 hours away from me. I've only seen pictures of it. I talked to the guy, asked him some questions. I asked him, are you firm on the price? He goes, yes, I am. I said, cool. Sounds good. I'll be out there such and such time to buy it. That was the end of the conversation. Now, I could have kicked the tires and bitched and moaned and everything else, and all that would have happened is he would have sold that truck to somebody else that knew what it was, and then I cheated myself because I was trying to save 275 F-head engines. Why? It's not worth it. If you want it, buy it. If you can't work out a good deal, then leave the dude alone. Don't work him over. Don't offer him this lawnmower, this Murray mower that ran when parked. Just don't do it. Don't. It's just not worth it. It's so infuriating. And, for a long time when I was buying trucks and trading them and stuff, I didn't have these problems because I was dealing with actual Jeep people. I wasn't dealing with people with a passing fancy for Jeeps. I was dealing with people that knew what Jeeps were and they liked them and they wanted one that I had. And they were pleasant to deal with. They were fine Americans. Now I'm dealing with people that like Peugeot Fiats. They like modern Jeeps that say Willys on the side and it makes them feel cool. I got a Willys. I bought it brand new. No, you don't. You don't have anything. You have nothing. It's not even, I shudder to even call it a Jeep. It's not even a real Jeep, all right? I'm a purist, all right? So these people that decide all of a sudden that they want a real Jeep, they get a hold of me and they want me to give it to them, pay me, $1, they can have it, and then, why? What world is this? What world is it? What? I don't know. What color is the sky in their world? I don't know. It's not the same color as mine. So I've been dealing with that a lot. And I've also got other things that aren't even Jeep related that I've come up with over the years and I'm selling and stuff. And it's just, I've got a boat motor, an old Johnson boat motor. It's not that old. It's probably from the 80s, right? Got it on there for what's a reasonable price if you ever mess around with boat motors. And what do you get? I'll give you 300. 300. Oh, I'm asking 800 for it, which is a deal, right? 800 chinchillas for a Johnson boat motor that runs is a pretty good deal, right? This guy wants to give me 300 chinchillas. It's not a thing. It's not how it works. Then they get pushy. I'll give you 400 chinchillas. Like, you don't dictate the price. That's not how this works. It's not. So I've been dealing with that a lot. That's pretty cool. And I enjoy it. If you can tell in my voice and my mannerisms how much I enjoy it. The other thing I enjoy is, like, I've got another Jeep listed, and a guy that doesn't want to buy it just decides to write me to tell me that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and that it's not an original tub. If it was, it wouldn't be this way. And if you still have it, maybe in the future, I'd like to get it. And that people are asking the price for a tub in good shape. They're asking the same price as a full, complete Jeep. Well, that's a lie in and of itself. And then the second thing here is that tub that I'm trying to sell. I don't want to sell it, but I'm just considering it, right? Because I know I'm not going to get around to the CJ3B anytime soon. So I'm just, seeing what's out there. How many chinchillas can we get for it? And I've got this random guy deciding to tell me that I don't know whether or not I should take a crap or wipe my watch, and that I guess the tub should be free. When you have an original tub, because if it's not an original tub, it was made by Willys in the 50s. If it's not an original one, it was made by Willys, so I guess that makes an original. Where are you going to buy a CJ3B or any other Jeep with a tub as nice as that one? If you watch my old video on it that I made months ago, you'll see how nice that tub is, and it doesn't do it half the justice it deserves. Where are you going to buy a Jeep with that nice of a tub on it for less than I'm asking for the tub? Oh yeah, you can't. You can. It's called the land of make-believe. And it was nice. I hope this gentleman felt better about his day, his life. Maybe his marriage is better now because he took time out of his day to write me some trivial crap about something that he doesn't want to buy. Excuse this truck driving by. About some crap he doesn't want to buy. He just felt like he needed to just tell me something that he doesn't know what he's talking about because he got to see one picture, that he thinks he can see something. Don't be that guy either. If he wanted to buy that tub for me, that's the last thing that he should have done, because I'll crush that tub with a skid steer before I sell it to him if he wanted to give me the full price, because just don't do that. Don't burn bridges. It's a smaller community here that F with these old Jeep trucks and Jeeps and stuff. The last thing you want to do is just go around burning bridges with a few guys that are lighthearted and kind and have red beards. Just don't do it. It's just not worth it. And chances are he's probably on the other side of the country anyway, so he's not going to get it. Just stop. So I've been dealing with all that. That's kind of cool. I got to do some more work. I've been working on other stuff other than Willys. Been working on my buddy's truck, working on another buddy of mine's trucks. So I've been kind of off the Willys here. That's the only reason I haven't put a video up. Been busy doing some other stuff and getting worked over about Jeep trucks and stuff. It's enjoyable. I've mentioned in my other videos that the worst part of dealing with Jeep trucks and stuff is the human beings that you have to interact with, because for every guy like the dude I bought this truck from, I have to deal with 35 guys that don't know anything about anything, but they know everything when they're talking to me. And it's awesome. But I try not to have an attitude about it, because they don't know, they just want to work me over, offer me a dead D-cell battery and a picture frame for a truck that's, extremely hard to come by. But we're gonna, whatever, it's fine. So you still got the forward controls. If anybody's interested in the forward controls as far as chinchillas or possibly a trade for like a CJ2A or something, then shoot me an email at redclaytraveler@yahoo.com. Believe me, I want to keep all of them. But I'm just kind of in a position now where I've got too many projects, and I don't like letting things sit when there's other people out there that can enjoy them. So if there's somebody on the channel that, might want one of them or whatever, then let me know in my email and we can talk about it. But it's just, I'm just trying to realize, like, I've got this truck I need to do. I've got Jubal that I need to do some more stuff to. Ultimately, I would like to put the 3B back together. I need to do some more work to the CJ5. And it's just like, when am I going to get around to those? Like, probably not anytime soon. And there's other people out there that can use them and enjoy them and stuff. So never hurts to throw it out there. How many chinchillas you got, Let's see, what else? We're at like 700-ish subscribers. So that's good. We need to do better. We need to get to 1,000. We've got 3 months to get to 1,000. All right. Do you want me just dead on the inside? If you're watching this, 80% of my subscribers are non-subscribed. 80% of the people watching are not subscribed. Let me try to speak proper English. So just do me a solid. If you're not familiar with pressing the subscribe button or whatever, surely you have a friend, a comrade, a brother, a sister, a wife, a lover, somebody. Get them to subscribe you. It does me a solid. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's good. It will keep the channel rolling. Contrary to popular belief, I am not vastly wealthy. So if we can get to 1,000 subscribers in the next 3 months, then the channel has possibilities for the future, and I don't feel like, that I'm just putting all this time and stuff in, and nobody's even watching, all right? So anybody you can get to subscribe, anywhere you can share the video. If you know any Jeep freaks like me and you, okay, fellow travelers, if you know anybody, then just tell them there's this weird guy with a red beard and overalls from the deep south, and he rambles about Jeep trucks, and he complains about people not knowing how to buy or sell them and stuff, and then he rambles and talks about Alexander the Great. It's a unique flavor, but it is a flavor, and some folks might enjoy it thoroughly, so just go ahead. Do Red Clay Traveler a solid. Much appreciated. Anyway, and I'll try to keep slapping my microphone, which I know y'all probably enjoy, but anyway, let's see, what else, more updates, what else, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you're going to go buy a Jeep truck, don't be a donkey, okay, we'll try to be friendly here. Don't be a donkey, just talk to them like humans, and don't just assume they're going to give it to you. Don't demand them to give it to you. Don't write people things about trucks or stuff that you don't have any interest in buying and spill your just endless knowledge upon them. Don't do that, because they don't care. I promise you that they don't care. They don't want to hear it. I get a lot of emails from dudes that are watching my channel that are telling me info that's actually useful. They're not asinine. They're friendly. Matt J is a guy that emails me pretty regularly off the channel. He's always telling me something cool, or he's showing me something local to me or whatever. Stuff like that, I'm all about. That's cool. Thank you. These other dudes are just randomly telling me I'm an idiot, and I just, no thank you, So, like, we'll just do a little brief thing here before I close out. So, say you want to buy a Willys Truck, all right? How do you go about it, Red Clay Traveler? Well, it's pretty simple, really. You determine a couple things right off the gate. What are they asking for it, okay? If they have a stupid number on the truck, all right, chances are you're not going to buy it, because even if you can get a hold of the person, they're not in reality. So like say if this truck was on there for 12,000 chinchillas and it wasn't in as good a shape as it is. All right, let's say it looks, the drip rail's rotted out, there's no glass in it, it's missing the grill, a fender's wadded up, the rear axle is taken apart, there's no engine in it, and they want 12,000 chinchillas. All right. Now, I know you're thinking, like, well, who would ask that, rent collector? A lot of people would, because I've seen them on there. I've had to deal with them. All right, so just don't even talk to them. Simply do not. All right? So that's step one. Before you even get enthralled with something, just see if they're even really wanting to sell it. Because if they've got something stupid on it like that, then they don't want to sell it. All right? Step two. Say they got something reasonable on the truck. The truck's got a good drip rail, the glass is all right in it, the rockers look good, the doors look good, the floor is about 85-90% intact, fenders aren't too bad, things like that. You want to set up a time, what I always do is find out how firm are they at whatever price it is that they're asking. A lot of people don't want to deal over the phone or in messages, but I've found that if you just tell them, like, listen, I'm 12 hours away, so I kind of need to know if you're going to deal with me or not. If you just tell them why, a lot of people will give you an answer. But regardless, just try to establish a little bit if they're extremely firm at whatever they're asking. They probably are. If it's only been on there for a few days, they probably are. If it's been on there for 3 or 4 months, they're probably going to be willing to knock some off of it. You keep a couple chinchillas in your pocket, all right? So, once you get out there, what do you look for, Red Clay Trevor? What do you look for when you get to the truck that you've always wanted? You look for simple things. Simple's good. You come along the unit like this, okay? Come along through here. You snatch open the door, and you take a look and see if there's a floor here, okay? If there's not a floor here, and you're not exceptionally good at bodywork, or have the patience or the money to pay somebody that is, then walk away, okay? Just don't buy it, all right? Now, say you get in here and the floor looks good, like this truck. The floor is good, it's got a little spot over there, fully aware of it before I went and bought the truck. No big deal, not concerned about it. Toolboxes are good, rockers are good, okay? This is rockers good, doors are good. The biggest thing I'm concerned with on trucks, more than the floor, is the drip rail. The drip rail is my number one question. It's usually the first thing I ask. What does the drip rail look like? The floor is flat. The door is flat. Everything on it's flat. This is elaborate and a pain to fix is the drip rail, all right? I'm not a body man. I never claimed to be, so I don't want trucks that the drip rail's rotted out on. I pass up on trucks that the drip rail is destroyed on because there's no reason to mess with it. Now, when you come back here to the bed, well, I mean, there's reason to mess with it if you have the money and the time. And say everything else on the truck is perfect, but the drip rail's got a couple crappy spots in it. Don't turn that truck down. Just be aware that this isn't as easy to fix as, say, the rocker or the bottom of the door. That's all. Just be aware of what you're getting into. The bed floor, right? This bed floor's got some holes in it, but it's nice and flat. I can cobble these over, but the main thing I'm concerned with the bed is what does the bed wall look like? What does the bed wall look like where it meets the bed floor? What does the front of the bed look like? That's the question, all right? This bed is actually probably the best bed I've seen on a truck. Most of them are rotted 2 inches high right here. Most of them are rotted out here. They're rotted in the front. They're rotted on the inside. The bed floor's gone. It's wavy and destroyed. The tailgate doesn't have a WO on it. Okay? Now, that's another thing you got to factor in. Say you go look at a truck and it's a steaming pile, but it's got this WO tailgate on it. And that WO tailgate's in good shape. You should consider buying the truck if it's a reasonable price just because of the tailgate. You really should consider it because they didn't put these tailgates on very many trucks. They're extremely rare. Nobody remakes them. They're hard to find. And most of them that you find are rotted out, bent in half, destroyed. So if you can find one like this, even if the rest of the truck isn't exactly what you're wanting, try to buy that tailgate from the guy. And if you won't do that, try to work on a deal on the whole thing. Get your tailgate and then sell the rest of the truck or something. Just don't pass up on trucks that have. I would have still bought this truck if all the floor was missing. Put it that way. The floor was gone, but it had this tailgate on it. I would still bought it. The main reason I bought it was because of this tailgate. Then I get out there and look at it. The drip rail's good. The rockers are good. The floor is pretty dang good. The bed's good. The front fenders are good. The rear fenders aren't perfect, but they're there. Like, I started looking at it, like, it's got everything I want and the tailgate. So that's a gold ticket right there. Other things you want to look at, like, don't worry about if it's leaking, because they all leak. They leak when they were brand new. There's not really anything you can do about that. Chances are you're going to need to change differential gaskets, probably yoke seals and stuff like that. You're going to have to put brakes on all of them unless it's when somebody's driving, so don't beat them up over the brakes not working or some crap like that. Just be realistic. The truck's old. It's old. If you wanted something new, you would just go buy a Hellcat now, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be buying a vintage truck, all right? You got to think of these trucks as what they are. They're antiquated. They're vintage. They're Americana. They're rare. They're not generic like a Chevrolet or a Ford or even a Dodge. They're getting rarer by the second. There's people out there cutting them up every day, putting them on S10 frames and stuff. It's just a whole nother conversation in and of itself. I have to remember some people like different things than I do, but, at the end of the day, they're not making this truck anymore, so every time somebody cuts one up, that's one less. And when all those people are gone, all you're left with is the remnants of a bunch of cool old trucks that aren't really good for anything anymore because they've been hacked to pieces. I'm not the only one that feels this way. Original, in most cases, involving Willys trucks, in almost every case, original is better. You think of the truck as what it is. It's old, it's rare, you like it, that's why you want it, and it's also an investment. So in the future, if you decided you didn't want it anymore, you can sell it down the road. These trucks are getting more and more popular. More and more people are seeing them now. They kind of got overlooked for a long time, and now people are starting to like them, right? Because everybody's seen a 5 in a cab. A lot of people, when I pull up in a Willys truck, they think it's an International or something. They don't even know what the hell it is. A lot of people aren't familiar with these trucks at all. So, now you see them on TV. They were on Mountain Man and stuff, and so people kind of got it in the zeitgeist. The Willys truck is pretty sick, and they're right. So just think of the truck as what it is. Think, when you're doing something to the truck, am I adding value to it, or am I destroying value? I could slam a 350 in this truck. I could. And then, in my opinion, and from all the trucks I've dealt with and people I've talked to and trucks I've bought and sold and traded, that destroys its value. There's trucks here in Georgia right now for sale that if they didn't have a 350 in them, I would have already bought them. But I don't buy them because they've got 350s in them or they got a 327. There was one here that had a 454 in it, okay? When you do that, the vast majority of people that do that I've encountered, this is my experience that I've encountered, they don't update the brakes, they don't do anything to the steering, they don't do anything to the suspension. So when you put a 350 or a 454 or a 444 or whatever in one of these trucks and you don't do anything to the brakes, you don't do anything to the rest of the drivetrain, you're not achieving anything. This truck was meant to go, like 65 miles an hour downhill. It wasn't meant to go 80 with the miniature drum brakes and the crap steering that it had. That steering was fine when you were going the speed that the truck was designed for. So when you're modifying a truck, keep in mind, whenever I do something that's not stock, I think, can I take it back to factory if I want to? And I've never done anything to a truck that I couldn't take back to factory. That's the only modifications I'm willing to do is if I can reverse it to factory easily. Because a lot of guys don't want this other crap. A lot of guys, if they want to do work on something, say they want to put a 350 in this truck, they want to do it themselves so that they know exactly what it is and how it was done, and if it was done correctly. They don't necessarily want to get into this truck and it has a DeLorean steering wheel through it, a 350 engine, Ford brakes, a Corvette rear end, a Ford 9-inch rear end, or some crap. They don't want any of that because then it's all cobbled together. And at the end of the day, it's chances are it's probably not as cool as you think that it is. But if you enjoy that kind of crap and you realize that it's probably, you're never going to sell it, then have at it. It's your vehicle, do whatever you want. But I'm just saying, a lot of guys get surprised when they've spent $50,000 on a truck and they can't sell it for 15. You know, the trucks that are original sell before I can buy them. And I'm looking at it around the clock. There was one not that long ago in Texas that I was trying to get a hold of, and it was on there for like 5 minutes and was gone before I could get a hold of it. And it was a bone stock original truck. But you can look on the same listing, there's one on there for 2 months that's got a 350 in it, and it's got the wrong wheels on it, and it's not even that great. They want $15,000 for it, and it's still sitting there. It's a running, driving truck. They don't want it, but they'll take the one over here that's bone stock original and does it right. You can disagree with that if you want. I'm just telling you from my experiences. That's what I've seen. Anyway, the goal is to keep the trucks alive, do them justice. They've made it a long way. They were here for a lot of people long before any of us were born. This truck right here was getting it done before I was even thought of. Before my parents were thought of, this truck was getting it done. So you got to respect the unit. You know, it's been there. Been there. A lot of things have happened since 49. A lot of things. And this truck's been there for all of it. So give it a little bit of respect before you hack it in half and put it on S10 frame. All right? Now, those are just some little pointers, how to add value to a truck, how to detract value from a truck, what to look for when you go to buy a truck, how to deal with people a little bit. Everybody's different. I can't give you a formula. You know, I've dealt with people before that were extremely agreeable and easy to talk to. Other ones were kind of hard to deal with. It just kind of depends on the people, the day, how many people has tried to screw them on the truck that you're trying to buy. Because a lot of the guys that I've had encounters with that were kind of negative were guys that have been worked over endlessly, like I've described to you in this video, before I got to them and I just bought the truck and left. You know, they're expecting me to come over there and offer them $1 and kick the tires and tell them it's crap and all this. Just don't do that. And don't tell a man that you're going to buy something if you're not going to. Don't do that. It's a simple part of manhood, is simply do what you say that you're going to do. It's a simple thing. It's an important thing. If I tell you I'm going to buy this truck, as long as you didn't lie to me about the truck, I'm going to buy it. It's very simple. As long as you've been honest, I'm honest. I tell you I'm going to buy the truck, I buy the truck. If I show up there and if I went to Oklahoma and this truck didn't look anything like it was supposed to, and that guy had misled me, I wouldn't have bought it. He didn't. He told me everything I needed to know. Just do what you say you're going to do, people. It's the better way. It's the better way. Like the Mandalorian, this is the way. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty much my rant. Sorry that the first video in 8 or 9 days is a little heavy, you know. But, you know, sometimes you need to clear the air. There's a lot of guys on here that know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of y'all might be into modifying trucks. Some of you are like me, you want a bone original. Maybe all of you get a kick out of me rambling about these trucks and carrying on. So if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your grandma, tell your uncle, tell whoever will listen. And this is Ray Clay Traveler signing out. I will see you all shortly and have a pleasant tomorrow. And remember, no matter what, Willys for life, there is nothing else.